Hello there, this is Magenta Pixie speaking, and today is the 14th of December 2024. So I have just come on to my computer to tell you a story, just to update you on the upcoming chapters in the story. This is a very, very small part of the story, just a little new addition to the novel. So Gloria Love. Last night in the novel, she had a dream about Stormfire. So the dream would have been in the early hours of the 14th of December. So in Gloria Love's dream, and I'm just unraveling the dream itself, and sometimes information in the dream comes into Gloria Love's being as a chunk, one moment with lots to unravel there, because Gloria Love feels telepathy of a sort. Well, telepathy in her dreaming, so she can pick up information in a chunk and then has to unravel that when she wakes up. So this is the unraveling. So Stormfire was being kept in a certain place in the village. Now, the place that Stormfire was existing within may or may not be a metaphor, and probably is a metaphor. However, because it's a specific place, Gloria Love is not going to reveal in the novel where the place is, just in case it's actually literal. It probably isn't. So where Stormfire is in the village is not going to be said for Stormfire's protection. Not that he really needs it, because this place is literally so high with security. It's unbelievable. The security is just massive, which is wonderful, wonderful. So in the dream, Stormfire's team, and when I say team, I'm not talking about the dream team that's working with him. I'm talking about the administration team, as in those who do phone calls, paperwork, that sort of thing, secretarial roles, administration roles, had put out some kind of calling to the Fae that Stormfire would be taking audiences with everyday people in the world, in the village. Or one may get to speak to a member of Stormfire's team, which might be an administrator, secretary, or it might actually be a dream team member, depending on what your role is and why you want to see Stormfire. So it was his way of mixing with the Fae and getting to meet the Fae on a one-to-one basis. However, this was a rigorous security issue. And what you had to do, if you wanted to apply to have an audience with Stormfire or with one of his team, you would go online electronically and send in everything about you, your photograph, your name, and the reason why you wanted an audience with Stormfire or one of his team. Did you have something to offer? Did you want to discuss a specific thing? One of the things that Stormfire was asking to receive, which is actually really funny, is cakes. He really, really loved homemade cakes and homemade biscuits. And if anybody wanted to make him a cake, he would gratefully receive it. But again, this had to be rigorously checked. All the ingredients, the cake would need to be tested and tested again and taste tested before the cake would actually get to Stormfire. So the security was just phenomenal. But that was actually rather funny. But yes, you would have to say your reasons for wanting to meet Stormfire or a member of his team. So Gloria Love decided to apply to have a meeting with Stormfire or one of his team. Very few people actually got to meet Stormfire himself. Most people saw members of the team, administration, secretaries, and the conversation would go to Stormfire, but very few people actually got to meet Stormfire himself. But it was his way of putting out his willingness to connect with the Fae, but he had to put security as paramount with this. So there was this dualistic issue here with him wanting to meet the Fae, wishing he could just walk down the street and say hello to everyone, but at the same time, this huge security issue had to be looked at. So Gloria Love applied, and she sent in her name and the reason why she wanted to see him, which was that she is a psychic and that she's been picking up information about him since 2016. And so she's been talking about him, picking up information about him, his personality, and things that may occur in the future. And so that's the reason why she would like to see him or one of his team. And then it took quite a while, and I'm feeling, through unpacking the dream, we're looking at weeks, really, before you would hear as to whether you've been given an audience with Stormfire or with Stormfire's team. Gloria Love did not expect to be picked, as there were thousands and thousands of people, well, millions of people, actually, and obviously these millions were mostly in the US domain, and Gloria Love is in the UK domain, but Gloria Love was picked, but it didn't say on the reply whether you would see the team, whether you would actually see Stormfire. It was that you would have an audience with Stormfire's team, and you would go to this place. That's how come Gloria Love knows where the place is, because she had to go there. So it's in the village, and I can't say where. Okay, so next thing, she goes to see Stormfire is one of Stormfire's team. So she goes to this place and she has assistance to get there. And funnily enough, she goes armed with her information, her psychic information, but she does actually take some homemade cakes for Stormfire. And Gloria Love's not very good at making cakes. So she enlisted the help of her sister, who helped her to cook these lovely organic and gluten-free and healthy cakes. And they were all tested and passed the test and everything. So everyone had to queue up when they got to this place. Everyone had to queue up that had been chosen to see a member of Stormfire's team. And then somebody walked down the queue and was picking out very few people to go away to queue up by this other door. And hardly anyone was picked. And Gloria Love was picked. And these were the people that were actually going to go to see Stormfire. So Gloria Love was picked to actually see Stormfire. So she waited by the door, and then she went in to see Stormfire again. Very, very heavy, huge security. And the security was just impenetrable. And it was wonderful. And Gloria Love was happy to see that the security was just so good. So she goes into this very sort of comfy, plush, luxurious place, a room that's kind of like a cross between an office but a lovely luxury living room as well. And she gets to meet Stormfire, and she couldn't believe she was actually in front of him, and she was a bit nervous. But after a while, she sat down and she talked to him and basically told him she was a psychic clairvoyant, and she'd been picking up information about him, and just basically told him what she'd said in the original email to the team. What she wasn't expecting, and she gave him the cakes. What she wasn't expecting is for him to give her information. And this is what he told her. And he told her that she could share this with those that follow her. Okay, so what he said was, something happened on the 11th of December, 2024. So I'm recording this on the 14th. Something happened on the 11th of December. This thing that happened, Stormfire did not say what it was. But Stormfire said at the moment it is hidden from the public, but it will become known to the public in whatever form. So what is known to the public might not be exactly what has happened because of all of the potential distortions. The thing that has happened, Stormfire is becoming irritated and upset and annoyed because this is an obvious distraction. And this thing is taking 90% of his focus to be able to deal with it, which takes him 90% away from the work that he wants to be focusing on 100%. Luckily, he has a really good team behind him, and they are able to take over the work that he would have been doing so he can give his attention to this thing. He said to Gloria Love, they are trying to sabotage me, and they are doing what they did before, which is to distract him all the time, take his focus somewhere else so that he can't focus on the job at hand. This time he is more prepared, as he has a team, a really good trusted team that are able to do the work for him, and that it wasn't happening like that last time. But he was annoyed, and he was trying really hard to not be annoyed and to try to deal with it. And to be honest, he was doing quite well at dealing with the annoyance, but it was making him a little bit cross, but he was dealing with it. And then he looked at Gloria Love. He looked at Gloria Love. He looked into Gloria Love's eyes and said, what do you think is going to happen with this situation? So he wanted Gloria Love's psychic opinion. And Gloria Love looked at him and said, they will not succeed. So this was the dream. And then Gloria Love woke up. That was the dream, and that's the information. It's very abstract, I know. Nothing concrete there other than the date, 11th of December, which was very, very clear. And that the public would know, but it may be distorted, that he's irritated and cross and a little bit angry, but he's dealing with it really well. It's taking away his focus, but he has a team that are able to take over his work. So his work is not suffering because of this, and that he has extremely high security in this place, which I believe is a metaphor, but Gloria Love cannot say where that is in case it's not. So that's the message. Just a short story today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. I am delighted to announce that the first 3 books of my Matrix Mastery teachings are now available, collected into a single omnibus edition. This information within these 3 books, making up the Matrix Mastery Omnibus, holds key codes, maps, and coordinates for anyone moving into awareness, activation, and the knowing that there is far more to the human reality on Earth than just the physical plane. As the starseeds on Earth go through the process of DNA reconstruction and regrouping of cosmic multidimensional memory, the significant codex within each transmission is downloaded to the reader directly from their own monadic avatar self. Multiple flame letter memory codes are utilized, including the rose, the chalice, the golden stargate, Atlantis, crystalline light, Excalibur, the sword of truth, the dragon, the emerald flame, and all that encompasses the holographic nature of reality. These codes are held within the most sacred twin pillars of light, your heart and your mind. The Matrix Mastery Omnibus, available now.